Welcome back, folks. Today, I thought I'd talk about the Toro Time Master, my Toro Time Master specifically. I've had this for 4 years. I didn't want to make any modifications to it because I wanted to wait till the warranty was up. Warranty on this machine was 3 years. This is my 4th season. Warranty's over with. I'm on my own. The warranty did come in handy. I did have the transmission in this replaced, which is really just a tiny hydrostatic sort of apparatus. That was replaced by Toro 2nd year in. I also replaced the cable that engages the blades, but I didn't use the warranty for that, although I could have. It cost me $28. I bought the cable and did it myself. I made a video of it. I'll post the video right here if you're interested. That cable sort of rotted, or the cable sort of rusted down where this bend is, and I think moisture got in from the top of the cable and settled into its lowest point, which was here, and eventually the cable just let go. The specific potential modification I wanted to talk about was the foam that's inside this gas tank. Should I remove it? Should I not remove it? Toro engineers went through some trouble to design it, and they must have put it there for a purpose, right? Well, according to Toro, it's in there to keep the fuel from sloshing around so it can all get used. And one of the common complaints about this machine is that the fuel tank is small. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case, although it is, you know, it's 1.2 quarts as per the paperwork. But I think the real problem really isn't that the gas tank is small, but the engine is bigger than the average homeowner is used to, right? We're used to 5 or 6 horsepower, 22-inch push mower, and this is significantly bigger than that. I don't know, they don't rate them by horsepower anymore. This is 223 cubic centimeters, or 223 cc's, and I don't know what that equates to. It's somewhere up around probably 7 or 8 horsepower. So this is going to use a little bit more fuel than, say, a smaller engine or smaller size mower would. And I think that in conjunction with the fuel tank size, you know, leaves us with the impression that it's a tiny gas tank. But I don't think that's necessarily true. But in any case, for me, that's not the biggest problem with this. The problem with the blue stuff that's inside this tank for me is that fueling it up is a pain in the ass. You can't see the fuel level as it rises, and as you're fueling it, you can't see the fuel level rise. And so it gets to the top of the foam, and there's very little space between the top of the foam and the top of the opening in the tank. And if you don't stop pouring at the right moment, you get a spill. To me, that's more of a hassle than the tank size. I've seen on the internet where people are concerned about the foam in here being absorbent, or the foam in here dissolving or deteriorating to the point where it gets into your carburetor and your fuel system. I'm not too concerned about that. I've got a fuel filter on my unit. This came from the factory like that, so you probably have one on yours as well. If any of this thing does degrade, it's going to get caught in the fuel filter. But again, I don't think it's going to degrade. I mean, it's made to sit inside the gasoline. I know gasoline can be tough on stuff, but this is factory stuff. I mean, the Toro folks designed this thing to sit inside the gas tank, sitting in gasoline its entire life. So I don't think having it, or I don't think worrying about it degrading is going to be an issue. Yeah, so I'm going to remove this thing. And I'm going to do some checking and see if it really does make a difference. And I'm also going to, at that point, decide, should I leave it out or should I put it back in? One of the other complaints, or one of the other issues that I've read with the fuel sloshing around inside the tank, is that it splashes out of the gas cap. Now, my gas cap doesn't look like it's vented, and there's a seal on it. And so maybe other tanks had vented gas caps, and the fuel sloshing around, the fuel would leak out the vent. I don't know. Maybe the seal on the other tanks were just not tight enough to where fuel would leak out. I've never had an issue with fuel leaking out, but I'm going to pull the I'm going to pull this blue thing out of there and we'll see what happens. If I remove this, the question now becomes, will I be able to put it back in if I so decide to? Or will I ruin it? It sounds like I'm going to ruin it. Trying not to break it up as I get it out of here. I don't know if they stuffed this thing in before. I don't know if they put this foam piece in here before they seal the seam on the tank, or if they somehow put it through the hole. But I'm finding that little sharp edges on the inside of this thing is preventing me from just pulling this out easily. So it's kind of getting stuck. On the inner edge. Well, there it is, shaped in a fat T for Toro. There is some fuel in it, though. Nobody light a smoke. Yeah, see this, I did this damage with my pliers. I shouldn't have used pliers on it. I should have just probably tried to manipulate it with my fingers. But it'll be all right. Again, I think if I do put this back in there, the fuel filter will do its job and catch any pieces that happen to break off. But I don't think I got to worry about that. So I've got 3 cups of water here, and here's the foam piece. It's basically dry. There's a little gas residue on it, I can tell, but it's not. There's nothing in it. It's not holding any liquid. I'm going to put it in the water and see how much water it displaces, and that'll give us some kind of an idea about how much volume this piece of foam takes in the tank. And then we'll pull it out and see if it's absorbent at all. See if it holds any water. Don't tell my wife I'm using the kitchen. Don't tell my wife I'm using the kitchen measuring cup here. So it looks like, boy, that's impressive. It's just a smidge. Is that a word? Smidge? It's just a whisker above 3 cups where it began. Now I'm going to pull it out. We'll see how much holds in there without squeezing it. It is holding some water. 2 ounces maybe. So I fueled it up about 1/3 of a tank, and we'll see if the fuel sloshes around, leaks out, causes the engine to sputter. who knows what we're gonna get. So yeah, I'll keep mowing. I'll keep you guys updated, but I don't think I'm going to have any problems. Although, to be fair, had I not already pulled the foam out, I would have just left it in. It really wasn't bothering me too much. Like I said, it's just the fueling up. It kind of splashes out. It gets away from me if I fuel too fast. When it gets to the top of the foam, you can't see it until it reaches the top of the foam inside the tank. Well, there it is. Yeah, I appreciate you checking it out, and hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.